reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. Hello everybody and welcome from day one of PAX. Harry Hall is here with me and we have just returned from our first event of PAX evening.
Our first day, actually?
Our first day, yeah, well actually we just got back from our first day, yeah. It's kind of an exciting day. Started out pretty cool. You got
cool,
to have
literally.
some fun at the beginning. Oh my goodness, it was so cold this morning.
Yeah, very cold. But this isn't the weather report, obviously.
Not weather reporter.
First thing.
The weather report is a great, like synth jazz, electronic jazz band. Fantastic.
First thing I did actually was I went to the media hour, which is the only hour that press is allowed on the floor without the other regular guests. That means less queuing.
That's not what you called them earlier. You called them peons earlier. Are you changing that? Are you not anymore implying that you are better than the common masses?
I am better, but I've never said it out loud.
Oh, okay.
I just think that.
I understand.
I don't think that. It's his. Never mind. I went in, and the first booth I went to was the Oculus Rift, the Oculus booth. The company's called Oculus, obviously, and their product is the Rift. And they had a demo room set up for us where I could actually try the latest prototype, which is the Crescent Bay prototype. This is as close as it's going to get to the consumer release version.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was put in this small black room where this assistant put this Rift on my face. After some technical difficulty, the thing got going, and it was this chain of events, like different scenes to display the capabilities. One was 2 industrial robots, you know, the big arms that make cars, and they were battling with magical wands and making and spinning around me, and you're standing, so you can freely walk around a couple of feet and look in all directions. And were all those kinds of events. One thing absolutely stood out, and this was the most amazing thing I've seen in technology ever. The scene changes to a big corridor, a really big corridor, like an industrial hall, and at the end of the corridor is a corner. You don't see what's happening there, and you hear this thumping, and then all of a sudden this T-Rex comes around the corner and walks towards you, and comes at like literally this. Like 2 feet from my face, stops dead, and the guy, the operator says, "Duck." I didn't need a prompt because I was terrified. I knew, my brain knew this was an illusion, but I was petrified. This was so scary. This creature was looking at me, was aware of me, and roared at me, and saliva was flowing over me, so I was like protecting myself. And then all of a sudden he stood up and he walked over me, he stepped over me, so I was like looking at. The T-Rexes have junk. And anyway, I was actually like underneath the T-Rex as it stepped over me, which is the sense of scale you get when you put that on. And the difference between the DK1 and the DK2, which are fairly low resolution devices, with the Crescent Bay prototype, it's amazing.
They're not really low resolution. It's like 760p, isn't it? The DK2?
You have to.
But it doesn't look like it. We'll talk about it later. But we had another demo with a DK2, and it wasn't that it was low res. Once you got past, well, maybe it was, but it was just pixelated, but very clear pixelation.
Well,
I can't explain it.
It's. The best word to say is, remember those N64 games that looked like somebody put a jar of Vaseline and smeared it all over the screen?
See, I didn't see that. I got the screen door type of effect. It looked like it was a grid.
Yeah.
I didn't see smear. I didn't see unclear like that.
Well, I was salivating, so that might be.
That.
No, but
I have video of that.
And we'll keep it in the vault.
No, it's going right here, right now. You can see Harry.
Anyway, the great thing of the change between the DK2 And what I saw is it is the difference between it's the difference between PlayStation 1 era gaming and PlayStation 4 era gaming.
Wow.
It's that big of a leap. And the detail, there was this one scene where all of a sudden you're standing on this alien landscape, like big frozen wasteland, and you look ahead and there is this alien, this gray alien standing, and the alien, he or she, I didn't ask, I didn't try, it was standing there.
You checked, I know.
And the detail on the textures and on the eye movement and everything, it was so convincing.
You all saw the hesitation there, didn't you? You saw that hesitation.
He's just making my life difficult. Anyway, so, and I'm talking about a 10-minute demo. It made the biggest impression on me in at least 10 years of gaming journalism. This is the future.
Wow. So my day started out, I didn't go to the show floor because I was going to the Blizzard panel, and I know that is crazy for lines, and I wasn't sure whether or not they were going to let press in to go and set up cameras and stuff like that. So I was there early, and I wasn't first in line, but I was pretty close. But we did end up having a press area where we could wait, and I got to meet a couple of guys from USA Today who were doing some freelance work. Not freelance work. Their company does some it's a subsidiary. They didn't explain it exactly, but they're affiliated with.
Stay awake, folks. We're getting somewhere with this.
So I went into the panel and got set up and actually had a really fascinating time. Not because I learned a whole bunch new about either Overwatch or Heroes of the Storm or Hearthstone, which they talked about, but just the amount of news. They were doing a panel right. They were giving out new characters for each of the games. They talked about 2 new characters for Overwatch and 1 new map. 2 new maps and 1 new character for Heroes of the Storm.
Okay.
And you can watch that video to get all that information. And then a new adventure for Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Which is going to be 5 wings and I think either 16 or 19 bosses, which is significant. 31 new cards. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
Digging the Hearthstone, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, you know what? I like playing Hearthstone, and we talk about it on the show quite a bit because Lenore is much more into Hearthstone than I am. I don't understand how people can watch Hearthstone streaming. It is
it's so tactical. It is.
And that's the thing. It's like watching chess. And I don't also like sitting there watching other people play chess either.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
But it's the same type of metagame. You have to approach it. And somebody brings a certain game, they're going to do a certain approach, right? There's all these named approaches to
yeah, but that's the great thing about collectible card games. You build your deck with a certain vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really exciting. A cool experience to talk to 2 really experienced journalists. Both of them are photojournalists. One of them was more of a gamer than the other. But it was just really interesting. So I really enjoyed that.
Cool.
And then I had to walk down a little bit further away to get to see the stuff that Tryon Worlds had on offer.
Anything cool?
You know, they're coming up with some cool stuff for Rift, but I think the biggest thing that I got out of the Rift discussion was that they will be beta testing a new calling, a 5th calling, later this spring. So if you don't know, Rift works in this way. You have 4 callings: Warrior, Mage, Cleric, and Rogue. And each of those has a bunch of souls, and you can build your tank. So every
archetypes,
calling, every calling can do it's all 3 roles, right? Tank, or 4 roles if you want to think support.
Yeah.
Tank, damage, heals. But the thing about the 5th calling, I asked them this. I said, every type of play style that I can think of that I want to play is covered in those souls. What are you bringing to this? Well, we've got some exciting stuff coming in. So they didn't say, being very coy about that, and completely understandable because they're not even at the beta testing part yet, right? So they weren't talking about it, but apparently they have an idea. They've been looking at some ideas. Some ideas were absolutely crazy. I don't think that this particular one is going to be something completely off the wall. I think it will be more iteration than innovation. But
it's still because, as you say, 5 archetypes with all the souls that you can use to hybridize them and change your playing style.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to see what they come up with.
And then I saw Trove as well, which is to me the little game that could. It started off, so just a few people on the team came out with this game very, very early. It's still in beta. It hasn't launched yet. It will be launching this year. They haven't announced a date yet, but it's launching this year.
That's been in development for at least 3 years now.
18 months.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh?
That's it. I know it seems like longer,
Yeah.
but they showed it off after only 4 months of development. 4 months of development, and they released alphas to the public.
Okay.
And so they patch every Tuesday. They've put out so much content. It's really kind of awesome how much they put out. And they've got a full-on music system where you can stack these blocks, because it's a building game too, right? As well as a full-on MMO. And you can stack these blocks, and you can set a tempo to travel across them, and you make music.
Cool.
I was listening to the You and Me, Baby Ain't Nothing But Mammals, so let's do it. They had that in the game. So that was kind of interesting. So I didn't get a chance to see Defiance and Arcade, unfortunately. I just ran out of time. They were off site, so I had to come back. What else did you do anything else in the morning?
I had a very interesting interview that I won't repeat. You definitely have to watch this one, and that's Upsilon Circuit, and that's a game. It's weird. It's a completely original idea. It's kind of. The best way to describe it is it's kind of like a game show where a large part of the people are actually looking at 8 heroes that are chosen at random from the audience and are playing this kind of dungeon running adventure in an open persistent world. Everything you do there as a hero is persistent, so if you kill a boss, you are the one forever known as the guy or girl who killed that boss, and that boss will be gone from then on. Dungeons are randomly generated, and the audience will be divided in teams and either helping or hindering the heroes.
So now, is there some that are assigned to help and hinder, or is it player's choice?
I didn't get that. I think it was player's choice, because it was basically, when I asked how they were going to monetize the game, she said, we will empower the trolls to buy traps and stuff that will hinder the player, so you can actually choose to be...
It's the trolls that are going to have to pay, and the nice guys are...
That's what I understood, but I don't know if that is actually if that is really their monetization. I'm so happy that they're doing that.
That is such a good idea. Hey, you want to be a jerk? Sure, $5.
You can pay for that, and then you paid for the privilege of being a jerk. But the thing is, and go see the interview. A very nice woman, co-founder of the company, went into all kinds of detail about this. The cool thing, or the weird thing is, you only have a random chance of becoming the hero in this game, or at least playing one of the quests in the game. The chances are, if this game takes off, you will never be able to play the hero. But if you are chosen and you die, you will never get another chance to be the hero for the rest of your life. That was it.
What if you make an account?
That's not... I know, that's the loophole. But in theory, basically, you are out.
All right. So let's move things along here. I played Gigantic. Exciting. Very different take on a MOBA. With
Was it
MMO.
big?
It was gigantic. It was quite large.
Was it huge?
Quite large, yes.
Enormous?
It was well enamored.
Well endowed?
Itself. Well endowed, thank you. I was thinking the wrong word there. I can always count on you to make sure I look like a fool, Harry. All right.
I saw a T-Rex walk over me. I mean, I have the words ready.
And you checked for junk.
For size.
So,
I was not ashamed.
I played Gigantic. I enjoyed it so much. I'm going back on Sunday. I'm going to take Harry with me, and I've tried to at least, and we'll hopefully get some interview with someone on the team at that point. And then we got together, and something happened. There must have been something wrong with the joystick at the Elite Dangerous booth when it was my turn to play. Really, I mean, there was just something wrong with the way they had it set up, but it wasn't working. So I had a little bit of an issue. Some people might call it a performance issue.
Chris had to call in tech support because he couldn't fire his guns. This was a preview. This is actually the tutorial mission where you have to fight one single. There wasn't even. He didn't even have the options to actually change anything in the setup. It's just a standard joystick throttle setup.
I pulled the trigger.
And nothing happened.
And nothing happened. Did you see me sitting there, trigger, 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 trigger? You did too, and you didn't do anything.
Well,
because it was funny.
I couldn't believe it.
That I couldn't fire my guns again. But we got to play it with the Oculus Rift.
That was amazing.
Wow.
That was an amazing experience. Even though I had to step back in time from my futuristic experience at the actual new. This was with DK2 prototypes
of the Oculus Rift, not the newest ones that are in the Oculus booth.
So. This is what my first experience with the DK1 as well. After a minute or two, the fact that you are not using optimum screens and optimum resolution, you go through that in a way, and then all of a sudden you are actually there in your spaceship, and you.
Welcome to our relaunch here of the
part
podcast
2
for tonight. Yeah, the battery died on the other camera. We've been busy today. We've been busy, so that's why. So we're going to fly through here. We were talking about Elite Dangerous. All I have to say is when that Oculus Rift Consumer Edition comes out, that will be high on my priority list.
I will,
I will. That joystick and throttle setup that they had there too was good. I think that was the SciTech one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was almost as good as almost as good as the one that we got.
No, I think it was better.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My $40 setup is way.
But this one isn't that much more expensive. That set,
isn't it?
It's like 90.
Oh, that's good value.
Crazy.
It's pretty good.
All right, and then I after that went and talked to Guns of Icarus once again. We've talked to them the last few PAX East co-op mode. On its way, coming out fairly soon when it's ready, which seems to be a theme for this particular PAX.
Well, yeah, but I'd rather have companies release a game when it's done rather than do the Ubisoft thing and release it whenever the accountants tell you to.
Well, when it's every year, you mean?
Well, I'm talking about the whole Assassin's Creed debacle. And
every year they put out an Assassin's Creed.
Well, but if they're finished, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, like... Anyways, moving on. And then we met some nice people, had some nice food, had some nice drinks at the Echo of Souls EOS party.
Yeah, that's a new. That's basically a Korean game that they're localizing to bring to the West, translating to German, French, and English. And currently not yet in beta, but in May will enter closed beta.
And this is one that is not being westernized. I was having this discussion with somebody else the other day about this whole thought about westernizing. Terra was westernized. Arcade was westernized.
Aeon was very heavily westernized.
Yeah, and so I think this is take 3 of our video here. Once again, ran out of batteries. Apparently we didn't change the battery in this particular camera before we started filming.
I actually think that we are as tired as the camera is, so we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly.
Well, I do want to say a couple things about Echo Souls, because we were just talking about that real quick.
Yeah. I was talking about, we were talking about the localization of the game.
Westernization.
And they're going to change one thing, because it's a Korean game, and in Korea they don't mind paying for statted items. They don't mind paying for a sword that's more powerful than the one that just dropped out of the mob. So what they are going to change around is the item store, because Westerners do not like to pay to win. At least that's what I hear. So that's the big change. And they're still working out what kind of items and probably cosmetics they're going to sell.
Now, I don't know. I did get to play it. I played it, ran through a dungeon. I mean, it was on dev modes and there were cheats and all that sort of stuff, so I didn't get a true feel of the game. It didn't feel really any different from any other localized Asian game, Asian MMO that I played. Aeon. It didn't feel as fun as Terra. I think Terra is a little bit more fun.
Well, Terra has its own very action-based combat system.
So Aeon, Lineage, you know.
I did not like Lineage, but that's...
Yeah, so but this is in that same vein, and I can't say that I loved the gameplay. It wasn't exactly a blast or anything like that.
It looked okay. I mean, graphically it looked interesting, but it didn't look... Yeah.
Here's the thing. Sorry, you were talking about how it looked. realistically proportioned women.
There,
That was in the game. The character, the guy Patrick next to me from Lorehound, was playing what looked like an actual woman, and it did not look overly buxom.
that's progress.
And I was playing what looked like a younger character, obviously, so that doesn't count. But yeah, it was not grossly, weirdly proportioned. So
That's good.
That's something. And of course, there was.
I
the
hope
armor,
that's not their selling point.
strips of armor across the character's body, but So Leonor will love it.
Eh.
All right, so that is day one. Tomorrow, what are some highlights? Guild Wars 2, I think, is a highlight for me. Looking forward to that. Alona's going to join us tomorrow to
Yeah.
do some Guild Wars 2 stuff. You got to look at your phone, so I got to fill time here, don't I?
I just want to make sure that I know exactly what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
Well, I think highlight for me is the Guild Wars 2, and as well trying to figure out how we're going to make something, a video of the Kerbal Space Program event that it says it's a competition. And I don't know how Kerbal can be a competition.
Hey, that's the one thing that I'm most curious about. Next to, obviously, the Final Fantasy XIV panel and the Final Fantasy 15.
Game of the Year 2013, Final Fantasy 14.
It's a really good game. You should play it. Final Fantasy 15 is in development currently. It's the new current generation console Final Fantasy game in production. I'm going to be visiting behind the game design of Final Fantasy 15 panel. Very interesting. Kerbal Space Program, and basically that's it for tomorrow. So you'll hear tomorrow what we saw, what we discovered, what the butler saw, what the maid saw, and we'll just have another chat about our second day at PAX.
We need a fireplace here or something like that, so we can have a fireside chat.
Actually, yeah,
Nice.
got a little Downton Abbey,
Fireplace right here, please.
little Downton Abbey atmosphere here. Yeah.
Awesome. So thanks for watching, everybody. Like that so many of you liked Harry's first video from PAX from yesterday, and hope that you like these ones too. We've got a lot of content coming your way, so check out MMOreporter.com and our YouTube channel at youtube.com/MMOreporterNetwork. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully if you find us at PAX, we'll say hello. Somebody found me at PAX today.
Actually, oh cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyways, thanks, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.